Governor Romney likes to tout his private sector experience, except a lot of that experience is investing in companies that have been called pioneers of outsourcing.
Bain and their companies, they made a great deal of money facilitating this outsourcing.
Their main goal is to create wealth for themselves and their investors.
Yeah, they made a lot of money, but in the process, they devastated. They devastated whole American communities.
Fair enough, but is that fair? The president and vice president pounding private equity firms like Bain Capital. Now a report out that says the White House was actually using another buyout firm in a bid to keep gas prices from soaring ahead of the election. Gene Sperling, director of the president's National Economic Council, reportedly kickstarting discussions with the Carlyle Group to rescue a Philadelphia-based oil refinery. Carlyle later agreed to take a two-thirds stake in the refinery and invest $200 million. Nothing necessarily wrong with that. We'll see whether that bears fruit from that. But Town Hall's Katie Pavlich sees a double standard in all of this. What do you mean, Katie? What do you see?
Well, for months and months, as you just showed, Mitt Romney's been slammed by the Obama campaign and the White House for being involved in private equity, particularly Bain Capital. Well, we find out that Gene Sperling, who is on President Obama's Economic Council, was actually urging a larger firm, Carlyle Group, to come in and rescue a failing company. Now, this is exactly what Bain did.
So that's saving the taxpayer dollars. You could argue from the administration, all to the good, right?
Right, exactly. And so we've been hearing that, private equity is a bad thing, but I think it's becoming more clear that President Obama has made it, private equity in general, a convenience factor. He uses it when it's convenient. He slams it when it's inconvenient.
Well, I think to be fair, I understand what you're saying, but I think to be fair, the president, those who agree with that position argue private equity is wrong when it rapes and pillages jobs in the process, and it doesn't have any net good for taxpayers. In this case, you could argue, there could be a good argument to be made, this was just private capital going in to shore up a taxpayer position that would help and not hurt Washington. That will be the argument. You agree with that?
Right, but I don't, because it goes back to the same basic argument of Bain Capital came into these companies, rescued the ones that they could, shut down the plants that they couldn't rescue, and then they provided more jobs in the end as a result. This is the same thing with Carlyle Group coming in and rescuing the Sunoco plant. And it comes down to the hypocrisy, Neil. President Obama just appointed a former Bain Capital consultant to be the head of the regulatory affairs office. Now, instead of keeping Bain in his official government bio, they took it out because that would show a blatant hypocrisy on part of the Obama administration to not only use private equity firms when it's convenient, but also use them in the Obama administration, because clearly they think that Bain, considering they just hired a consultant to head up the regulatory affairs office, had some success in whether it was Romney when he was in the 90s or whether it was now.
We just mentioned with Congressman how these kind of issues come up in a debate. If it comes up in a debate, the president could easily draw the distinction, as he might, whatever your political viewpoint. Look, I mean, this involved no loss of jobs. In the case of Mitt Romney, some losses of jobs. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I am saying that you could make the argument here that there is a distinction because no jobs so far have been lost.
Right, but Mitt Romney can come right back into the argument of, look, this is very hypocritical on behalf of the president, who on one hand wants to slam private equity, which is the basis of the economic engine of the United States, but when it's convenient politically, he uses it to his advantage. And in this case, Mitt Romney can once again bring up, look, these are all of the jobs that we created under Bain Capital, and let's look at some of the instances that you've used, like Solyndra, through taxpayer dollars to not only get taxpayers out of $500 million, but also lots of jobs.
So, Katie, I'm going to put you down as a maybe on the president. Thank you very much.